Yay! Welcome back to the Video Game Losers here on the Pop Culture Network.
I didn't change my clothes. Oh.
Yeah, well, I'm a little stinky, you know.
Whatever.
You're used to it by now. All right, today on the show, we're going to be talking about on the NES, Spy Hunter. Classic retro game. Check out this video for a quick look back at Spy Hunter. Spy Hunter was originally released by Bally Midway into arcades in 1983. Later ports were brought to DOS, the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Amstrad, the Atari 2600, the BBC Micro, the ZX Spectrum, the Commodore 64, the Apple IIe family, the ColecoVision, and others. But if you've played any version of the game, you've pretty much played them all. They all play more or less the same, which is that it is a vertical scrolling action driving game. The player is a spy hunter driving the fictional G6155 Interceptor car, taking out other spies and fighting, in fact, helicopters. Your one ally in this game is the weapons van, which you can climb into in order to get things like smoke screens, oil slicks, and even surface-to-air missiles. At a few points in the game, your car will actually transform into a cigarette boat to attack other boats in the water. One interesting note is that the game originally shipped with the James Bond theme into arcades, but when the rights could not be reached in order to actually use the piece of copyrighted music, the theme was changed to the theme from Peter Gunn. The music has now become synonymous with the actual video game. And we're back! Alright, wasn't that a great look back at Spy Hunter? Obviously, hours and hours and hours of work went into that video.
You know, looking back at all the various types of Spy Hunter, I gotta say, some of the older versions look better. Like, they're a lot more fun looking.
What do you mean?
Like, you know, the Nintendo version's kind of... I have an issue with the graphics. It's hard to figure out... Maybe my eyes are going out. It's hard to tell what is what.
I see what you mean, because like when you're playing it on like the Atari 2600 or whatever, it's obvious what the bad guy car is.
Right.
Whereas on the NES version, all the bad guy cars are blue. They're just kind of different shapes of whether or not. And it's like
they're not really easily... You can't distinguish them.
Mm-hmm.
And the screen's going really fast, so of course, you know, you're like,
All right, now a couple things on Spy Hunters. You got different bad guys. You've got your square big cars that try to bump you off the road. Those you can't shoot. Mm-hmm. You just have to go fast and try to knock them out of the way.
Jerks.
You got the limousines with the guys with the machine guns that lean out of there. You can kind of slow down, let them pass you, and then shoot them. There are the regular-looking cars that got the little Spartacus spinny things that come out of the wheels and knock you off the road.
Make you go woo-woo.
And then there's the helicopters. The helicopters that come and drop bombs down on you.
Oh,
and
is that what they do?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Well, I didn't really...
There's suddenly holes in the road. Where'd these things come from?
I just knew that I should avoid them because they were like...
obviously bad
flying
guys.
around me, following me. But I didn't like see them do anything.
And then, you know, there are the boat levels where you turn to the little boat and there are the other boats coming and you're, you know, whatever.
Which, by the way, turns the game into a way more enjoyable game until you get back on the road.
You know, and they were going to do some sort of air combat, like have it turn into like another type of helicopter or a airplane or something, whatever. And they just never got to it in development. But there's still a picture of the car as an airplane on the side of the arcade cabinet. A little piece of trivia for you right there. Next time you're at your nacho party at Buffalo Wild Wings, you got a little piece of trivia. You can throw that out there.
I wonder if the arcade version is any better. Like, I don't really...
You know, it's like every version, of course, looks different and has different, you know, there are more characters, I think, on screen at a time in the arcade than in the Atari 2600 version, which is another reason why those old other versions may seem a lot easier, because there's not as many sprites on the screen at once.
Yeah, that's good, because the game is, like, ridiculously hard for no reason.
Right. Well, as you go faster, your points go up higher. You destroy the bad guys. Obviously, you get points. If you if you accidentally kill civilians, you get no points. And it'll stop collecting points for a short period of time before it starts
See,
going
I didn't
up
even
again.
realize that.
Yeah.
I figured, no harm, no foul, keep going.
And then you got a countdown clock, and, you know, for the first, like, whatever, you know, 300 milliseconds or whatever the hell it's counting down for, you can die as many times as you want, and the big red truck's going to come and drop another one of you off. And as you're going at slower speeds, if you bump into civilian cars, you just kind of move them around. But as you're going super fast, if you slam into one of those cars, it's like you're both dead.
Yeah, game over.
Weapons vans, you can pull into the weapons vans. You get, missiles. You can get an oil slick. You can get the smoke screen. Yeah, that's one of them on there. You can even get surface-to-air missiles for shooting down those helicopters.
Oh.
But you got to get kind of far along before you get to those. So you probably never saw them because you're terrible at this game.
Yeah, I'm super terrible. Actually, replaying this game made me remember that I hated this game.
Dude, I loved this in the arcade because one of the cool things in the arcade was it was in the cabinet stand that had like the steering wheel. It was like a futuristic, looked like the one from Knight Rider that you were using, and you had like a gear shift and you had a pedal on there, so you could do like the whole driving thing. That was cool in the arcade. You don't get that on the Nintendo version, however. Nintendo version, you just stuck with that little rectangle pad.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, not as good as the arcade.
Never.
You just said to me.
Never as good as the arcade.
So thank you for answering my question from Coleman Scout.
Yeah, and also the game reminds me a lot of Road Blasters. Remember Road Blasters?
Yeah, but I think
Road Blasters was a lot more
better.
fun. Yeah. Behind the car as it's driving instead of the overhead. Okay, so scale of 1 to 5. When you think of Spy Hunter, where would you put it on that scale? And this is for the NES version, not talking the arcade, not talking Atari 2600.
I think when we do the points here, and I'll say it's probably a 3, and I'll tell you why. Obviously, the game's very limited in what you can do. It's going to get repetitive really fast. However, it is considered probably one of the more classic games, so I think it gets a little extra point for being a classic title. It's not a Mario, for Christ's sakes, but it is one of the ones you remember. So on the Nintendo Entertainment System, I actually give this game a 2. Wow.
In the arcade, it's like a 4. But on the NES, it gets a 2. And here's the reason why. If you're driving on the road and you're going perfectly straight, and the road curves, and you just keep going straight, the game will glitch from time to time, and you'll just keep going straight. You'll go off into the grass, and you're just driving along the grass. None of the bad guys can get you. You can't get over into any of the bad guys. You're just driving on the side. If you hit a bridge, suddenly you're just driving through the water. It's just going on and 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 on until either the road moves back and you're back on the road, or you get like the helicopter will come and start dropping the bombs, and then you got to swerve out of the way to keep from happening. In the arcade, if you hit a similar type of glitch, the cars will actually come and attack you in order to make you move out of the mode, but in the Nintendo, they never programmed that in. So you can actually, if you get it just right, you can do almost 90% of the game just driving off-road, off to the side, just avoiding everything.
So what's the problem with that?
Well, that sucks.
It's called winning.
That's not fun.
Winning.
That's not a fun way to play the game. So I actually give it a 2 out of 5 for major bugs that affect gameplay. Alright guys, thanks for watching the review here today. Don't forget to check out Pop Culture Network for more videos and podcasts and columns about toys, video games, comic books, movies, TV shows, all sorts of great stuff like that. You can also check out our message board. We now have a chat room if you guys are into some of that kind of stuff. Get a little, at nighttime, a little, what I'm saying?
Turns the pants optional.
Alright, and don't forget to check out shoppcn.com where you can find video games, comic books, movies, Blu-rays like Push. Actually, I love this movie. As a matter of fact, $7.95. That's a pretty good deal on that one.
There you go.
So don't forget to check out shoppcn.com for all your gaming and toy and comic book and magazine and music and movie needs.
And don't forget to check back for more video game reviews.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.